Hello, this is Chala Dincoy, the CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert. Welcome to another edition of the podcast, The Naked Marketing. Today I have a guest who's well-dressed and dressed, thank God, Ben Brown. He is joining us from Florida. Tell us all about your business and who you help, Ben.
Well, my business is 360 sales consulting. I've been doing it approximately for over 5 years to keep going. Okay, so basically, revert. So it is a sales consultancy firm, which I help small businesses and entrepreneurs learn the skill of sales and educate themselves how important it is for every business to understand how to communicate in a sales language so they can generate and help more people, alienate who they don't need to talk with, and create a process for them to be more efficient. So normally, when the people qualify, I generate normally between 10 to 40% more in sales every time I do that.
Wow. So how did you even get into this?
I started in sales back in the 90s. I won't tell you how old I am, but I've been doing that for a number of years in all aspects, from management, all different variations, from face-to-face to live. I've been holding my skills over the last couple of years and realized that I had a skill as far as educating people and helping them understand what it actually is, because it's not taught in college or anything like that. And so once you get somebody who can gravitate to understand how sales work, most people don't understand what that is, and I have to repurpose it for them, and how easy it is, and that everybody can do it, but not everybody likes to do it. It can help them, because most people come from corporations where they had the sales done for them and don't understand what that is to actually have that language.
So what are some of the things that you sold? I mean, I sold cemetery property when I was a student.
Oh, that was nice.
On the phone.
That's some good commission right there. I started in gym business, and then Verifone. I've done cars, used cars, which I didn't like that too much. I have done software, which is where I really hone my skills at doing. I've done HR, headhunting firms, where you go out, staffing firms, various products, boats. I also helped actually sell a plane one time, buses.
Wow.
So when people know that you can have this deal, they call you in for one shot deal. Sometimes, can you help close this deal? Because they know that you're a closer, and most people are looking for closers, right?
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. So what is the secret to success in sales, do you think?
Well, you have to understand that it is a language. You have to understand that it's a different conversation. You have to understand that it actually is a skill that has to be practiced. And most people just want instant gratification. You can't really get it from a book or CDs or something like that, because it's mainly theory. So the activity of voice inflection, body language, all this comes into place of getting a client to the purpose of a sale is to move, to get them to do, not talking with them, but to get them to move in a sales process. So anybody that does not have a sales process has a sales problem.
That's great. And so tell me about sort of who your exact target is, because anybody can use sales, and you just talked about every industry that you helped.
Well, it's mainly some businesses normally between 500,000 and 2.4 million. Normally I work with. They have a staff. Some of them do, some of them don't. I have built sales teams from scratch for industries who have a product but don't know how to build an actual team. I did that a couple of times. That's a lot of work. Building, hiring, the whole deal for that, and implementing the SOP, and then bringing in management to take that over. So I like, my special skill is just working one-on-one with individuals and small teams, finding out where the holes are. What's the problems that you currently have when it comes to sales? That could be software, that could be your actual selling itself. It could be your systems. A number of things can go wrong in a business that most people don't understand. They're alienating their potential clients.
Do you find it difficult to target because like I'm a niching expert, right? So do you find that it's difficult to target by revenue, because companies don't generally self-congregate according to their revenue? They're more self-congregating in terms of their industry. Do you have an industry focus that you could say that you do a lot of work in?
We should work together, because that's been everybody comes to me, right? So you try to say, all right, what do you, and it's always important, and I tell your constituents on this, it's important to niche down. But the referrals come, which I key in on. And so, you don't want to have what's called bad money. So if you don't niche down, you get bad money. I've been fortunate enough to have good money for people to understand what I do. I would love to niche down in the specifics, like Brownie, you'll be better if you just focus on that. But, I got a team and I'm working on, but, in the pandemic and everybody coming to me, you're like, okay, I would like to do that. So I have a marketing team trying to help with that. And we're
Oh,
talking years later, right? Because it saves so much time to niche down and dominate a niche, right? But
yeah.
when people are constantly coming, can you help me? And if you can, you have a structure of where you don't want to put yourself too far out there, right?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, like say, for example, I work with a company, insurance company, the project took 4 months. I couldn't take any on the clients. I was basically there 3 times a week, part of the team. You're talking 5-figure deal, to put something together like that. Also proof of concept. Like if I could do it for this big company, I could definitely do it for smaller people and use that revenue to build the company.
Mhm.
And that was important as well. But yeah, niching based on money is kind of around the park, because some of the people that speak with me don't know that they have a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't have low hanging fruit, which I call it. And once
Yeah.
the low hanging fruit go around, then they start looking around. Do we need to do more marketing? Which is always, you know, let's do more marketing, get more low hanging. And they're not closing. They're just talking and waiting for the clients to close. So I find most people, their problems is they don't know when to close, how to close, and how to effectively close. And it's because they don't have a process before that.
Yeah, I guess I mean, first of all, I want to acknowledge you for recognizing that a niche is so great to have in order to grow really fast. Because I have so many clients that were kind of taking anything really to survive. I call it the licking the ice cream that's melting in one hand, while the other hand should be gathering stuff to bake the bread for the long term, because the bread will keep you full
Right,
much longer, and the ice cream is melting, and it's not always good for you, right?
right, definitely.
Tell I like food. But yeah, so I totally, and we'll have a conversation about how I do that, because I did that for 18 years for Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay, when I had to reposition and niche every new product that we'd launch 7 to 10 new products, and they'd be like, Chala, okay, what's the positioning? What's the target? Like what is the unique selling proposition? So all of that. But to take it to, the level where you're talking about, well, it's coming to you, it's COVID. Of course, you're going to take the revenue. I'm not saying don't take the revenue, but the thing that you have to do in the background is to do the strategic work to figure out that niche and at the same time. So that's the challenge, right?
And I've done that numerous times with people that say they know that what they were doing, right? And they come back to you and say, okay, we got it. Like, and then 2 months later, it's like, okay, like, where is that at? Like, yeah. So it's like, I think in this market, it's finding the right people to work with that can solve your problems,
Yeah,
right?
it's so true. So true. And so part of what I found, you won't believe this, but I actually hired someone to do it for me, because yeah, I can't do it for myself. And they were wrong. I paid enormous amounts of money, because I always hire the best. And Ben, it was like, and I'll tell you what the mistake was that they made. And like, I knew this, but you don't recognize it when it's happening to you. And I wonder if the same happened to you, but they sat behind their computer and did research and talked to me for a couple of hours. And then they cranked out, here's your niche. What I teach is so completely opposite of that. I teach you how to ask the market, because that's what we used to do. We used to do like consumer surveys, customer service. So that I've made it into like a 2-week process that's for free. Like, I mean, people have to teach me or pay me to teach them, but that to actually do it yourself as a small business owner, it's possible. And a lot of people actually close business because they're talking to people in pain about the pain, and they're in front of them. Of course it'll close. To your point, like, they don't even know when to close. But yeah, so thank you for legitimizing the need to niche and the need to focus. So let's talk about marketing. I know you said that people always think that their problem is marketing. So what I find is there's two problems. One is they're not getting into enough meetings where people are asking, how much is it? So everything that happens until that question to me is marketing. But everything that happens after that question is asked is where you come in. That's where I think sales is. So I think there's two problems on the table is the problem that I solve where they're not getting enough people asking them, how much is it? And then the problem you solve, which after they ask, well, how much is it? Well, they can't close it. So what do you
Well,
think?
well, what I think is that marketing, I look at it from, I use a lot of analogies, real world scenarios for people to understand what I'm talking about. So marketing is everything on the outside. And once it penetrates the skin of the company, it goes into sales.
Yeah.
So that is an email, a phone
Mhm.
call, a survey filled out where it becomes a lead. And so marketing is to generate those different type of observations for people that think, or maybe, so marketing is ability to stop somebody and say, hey, are you having this problem? And then the purpose of a sale is to get somebody to move. Do you want to solve it? Right? So it's a billboard on, call this number. I want you to call, click on this link. So it's all based on those movements. Once you get into the action where you start being proactive is when sales takes over. And then that's a whole nother process.
Yeah.
So I'm filtering out if you're qualified, should I spend time with you? Can I help you?
Yeah.
If not, that's the difference between people having negative connotation with sales, where people that are good at sales don't care about you. They just want you to buy it, right? Like timeshares, we always love those
Oh,
guys. They're so good, right? I love those guys. They're one of the tops.
yeah.
And because they have this skill down, they know exactly where they're going, know what they're doing. I mean, basically they don't really care about what you're there. We're going to sell you regardless. And so you put yourself in that situation because you had the low hanging fruit of, ooh, 3 free nights in Florida. And I just sit here for like 6 hours. It's like, we could take it. What do people say? We could take it. We're going to say no. I'm like, yeah, okay. Next thing you know, you're like, you want to come to my timeshare?
I love those guys. I learned from my sales coach that to love even getting pitched
Yes.
because I was allergic to it, just like anybody. And, just like anybody really that you talk to who is not good at sales and doesn't like sales.
Mhm.
I had a visceral reaction to people trying to sell to me. And whenever I see it around me in friends, family, loved ones, and clients, I point it out now because I say that's the reason why you're not good at it is because there's a part of you that is like making it wrong to try to sell to you. And yes, some people don't have the skill set, right? Some of those guys in Jamaica, my hats off to them. They were great. And others were using, very wrong tactics. Same, I work out of my home. People cold knock when they're selling real estate, right? And there's some very wrong things that they're doing. But at the end of the day, I'm really curious about what you think are the marketing mistakes that you made, and then the marketing mistakes that you see businesses make all day, every day.
Oh, we have a list of marketing mistakes. Oh, so my gift is sales. It's not marketing. I paid many dollars for that.
Uh-huh.
Just because I know what I do, I stay in my lane.
Good.
So I'm the best client for you. Say marketing is just, so, one of the things is like assuming that you think it's going to work. Like Facebook ads, if you're not niche down, you're going to blow thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Using firms that don't understand your market.
Mhm.
Actually getting somebody to test their theory before you invest, because if we could get some of the money back that we invested in marketing, man, I think you have a second house, right? So, 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 and also when you do your marketing, stay specifically in small areas that you want to do in. If you're doing business, stay in LinkedIn, don't do Snapchat. Like I got cut back on a lot of that during COVID. I got rid of Twitter. It's not where I need to be.
Yeah.
You're the leader of your business. You're going to make mistakes. We all do as entrepreneurs. And the job is to lessen the mistakes, but you're going to make them. And sometimes they're big, they're huge. Because I know how many people out there that did Facebook ads, people won't tell you, and how much you spent on that. And then people came back and said, you know what, in order to get this down, we need to invest some more money, like 4 figures. Like, wait a minute, I just did 4 figures and you got me nothing.
Yeah.
So, that is a deal. And find out not only your niche, but your area.
Yeah.
One of the secondary deals, I have another business and it's local. And I realized instead of in Google doing 80 miles out, 50 miles out, I was better at just doing 25 miles out.
Mm.
Dominate where you are and where you're known before you broaden out your marketing. So
Yeah.
instead of going nationwide, how about sticking with the city? How about sticking with the state, the county, and then broaden it out because people know you in that general area. Even though I've sold work with people in Australia, France, Spain by Zoom all the time, I realize the slower you keep it in that area, the more effective your marketing, depending on your product or service, right?
Sure.
Um,
Exactly.
so the key for most people is that you're never going to get it 100% right.
Yeah.
Be willing to understand you're going to make mistakes. Realize that you're going to be burning money sometime, as we all do, because the markets constantly change, no
Yeah.
matter what you're doing. You
So,
know,
I mean, you said that you spent so much money on your marketing and it didn't work. What is the best thing that worked?
the best thing that work is basically being able, if you have a business and you have a client, in my book I teach you about referrals. Your biggest marketing and your biggest market is sell to people you've already sold,
Hmm.
right? Your marketing is talking to people, which is cost effective for you. Most people don't want to do that. They want low hanging fruit because that takes effort, that takes sales ability. But basically, you've already sold them. Ask them for the referrals to build up on everything, and then start going out where most people, they know, oh, let me just build a website. How many people start off with that, right? How much is that? 5 grand. Okay, now who's going to find it? Nobody. Great. I'm just going to market on my website. Like, it's so many different little things that you need to do. And like I said, college does not cover this. This is, you could take a couple classes and it might be specific towards what they do. Even if it's real estate, their real estate in their area is different than the real estate in your area. You might cookie cut it and buy a 397 course or something. It's not going to work, right? But you have to learn what works for you, and you have to be willing to fail. And that's the key when it comes to marketing. Once you get it down, like you said, I've been doing this for a while, and you talked about niche. So by networking and finding out we got together, maybe you can niche it down for me because I'm so busy doing what I'm doing. That could be a coalition to work between you. So always have your options open. You never
Yeah,
know.
that's great. So, what parting advice do you want to give to people around? And I know you said, I love the fact that you said, I'm not the expert, but yet you know so much about marketing because you have a business that you marketed and trued and, tried and failed and you have things. Oh, you have two business. So, are you allowed to say what the other business is?
Oh yeah, I own a limousine company I've had for 11 years.
Oh my gosh, has and totally off the side, but has the share ride market hurt that business or not at all? It's
It's two
not.
different clients I niche, right?
Oh,
So disposable income is for limousines.
mm-hmm.
Uber is for regular people that just want to get around, or airport transportation, right? You want to
Right.
know, I don't want people to know who's coming to my house to pick me up to take me out for 10 days, right?
Yeah.
I rather know who's coming to get me. I want to make sure it's there on time. I want to make sure it's regular. So it's mainly for people a little bit further up in the
Yeah.
income market is specific. So no, it doesn't. It's actually helped because every time they do something wrong, they come back. They're like, oh, I did an Uber. I just didn't like
It's true. And you know what? In Canada, at least they had Uber Black, I think it was.
it.
And when before the pandemic, I would have clients come in to Toronto for VIP days, and I tried Uber Black one time, and the guy was either late or couldn't find it, or he didn't come out to get the client, and I went right back to my limousine company. So I was curious how it affected your business. So
Well,
it's
the
good.
difference between us is our reputation is on the line every run,
Yeah,
whereas all the other people, they
they're
can care less.
independent. Yeah, for sure. All right. Wow. So how do people reach you, Ben?
So they can find me on 360 Sales Consulting, where on there they can find some information. Also, they can get into the book. They can schedule an appointment, which I use something very simple. It's called www.meetwithbenjamin.com. to schedule a consultation or phone call or just networking. There's basically different various things they can do on there. And another thing with marketing that we close on is making it easy for people to reach you. I've been on numerous websites where there's no phone number. There's no, where's the chat? There's three ways people want to reach out to you. Normally accessible, non-accessible, or personal. So I tell everybody, big tip on your website, at least have a phone number, email, and a chat, because you have three different personalities on the way they want to communicate.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being a guest. You've been so resourceful.
Thank you.